Hello everyone, so wonderful to see you again. It's Judy from Coffee, Cookies, and Books, and what we're going to do today is we're going to play Yachtsified for my April TBR. Okay, so we're ready. We are going to start a fresh new Yachtsified game for our April TBR. Got a few extra things we're going to add at the end, so you get to see all that. Yeah, so it's going to be a packed TBR for April. So fingers crossed we're going to get through it all. So let's hope that Yachtsified cooperates, and let's do our first roll. Okay, so we're ready to start. Now, as I probably mentioned, we're starting a brand new game, and it could go either way. This could go really fast, and we could get through all 5 rolls really, really quick, or we could end up with the extra cards. So it really depends on the dice and what the dice is going to do. So let's get started. Okay, let's not drag this out because it could be painful, but it may not be. All right, so we're going to do our first roll. Okay, so let's see if we can get a full house. No, we did not get a full house. Now we do have chance open, but I do like to leave that for a little later in the game. Okay, and because this is the first roll, we're just going to roll the black dice, take our chance, and see what we get. So again, if we roll a 1 and a 4, it's a prompt card. A 3 and a 5 is a reward card, and a 2 and a 5, sorry, is a reward card, and a 3 and a 6 is the misfortune card. So let's see what we get. We got a 2, so that would be a reward card. So let's see what we get with that. And it is choose or skip. So because with reward cards, you do not have to add a book or put a book in. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to actually roll for a book because we haven't done anything. So we will take it. We'll go from the top pile this time, work our way down. I think it's only fair to actually pick a book. Okay, make things a little bit more interesting, right? And we have Heavenly Bodies for our first choice. All right, so our first roll, we came up with Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru, and I've had this on my TBR for quite some time. So we're going to finally get to it, and I believe that the next book in the series is already out, but we'll just read a little bit on the back of this. It says, in a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Ilara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that it will kill them both. So when Ariette, star of wrath and war, descends to wreak havoc on Ilara's kingdom of night, she flees her home, only to be captured by the neighboring Helios kingdom of light and falls straight into the arms of an enemy prince. So that's all I'm going to read of the synopsis because it's a long synopsis, but it sounds good. So it is a fantasy romance. Right? How many pages is this puppy? 500 pages. So pretty good size book for our first choice. So now we're on to the next roll. All right, and we are on roll 2. And we didn't have to add an extra roll because we had that reward card the first time around. Let's just get rid of this. Oh, right away off the bat, we have 3 1s. Okay, so what we've got is 3 1s. So we will take that off the top fill that in and choose a book. Okay. Oops. I do have a tendency to do that all the time, don't I? It's because these piles are fairly large. Okay, and our next book is Corrupt. All right, our next roll we came up with Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. So and this is part of the Devil's Night series. I think there's 3 or 4 books in the series. It says, dreams might be a heart's desire, but nightmares are its obsession, in the first novel of a dark romance series from Penelope Douglas. Erica Fane knows her boyfriend's older brother is handsome, strong, and completely terrifying. A college basketball star gone pro, he's more concerned with the dirt on his shoe than he is with her. But she saw him, she heard him, the things that he did and the deeds that he hid. For years, Rika bit her nails, unable to look away. Now she's in college, but she hasn't stopped watching him. He's bad, and the things she's seen aren't content to stay in her head because he's finally noticed her. So a little bit creepy, maybe? Yeah, a little bit creepy. But a romance, dark romance. Dark romance. Okay. So there we go. There's that one. Actually, how many pages is that, baby? Geez, that's almost 500 pages too. Wow. Okay. 2 good-sized books there. And we're on to our next roll. All right. Let's do roll 3. Let's go for the 6s. Oh, and we did get a 3rd one. And we got a full house. This is what we were trying for the first time. And I'll pop that in there and choose another book. So this is book 3. And so far, we're rolling right along. We only have 2 more rolls. And the next book is Hillbilly Elegy. I believe that's a nonfiction. Okay, so the next one is Hillbilly Elegy by, which is a memoir from J.D. Vance, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. From growing up in a poor Rust Belt town and witnessing the struggles of America's white working class, to enlisting as a Marine, to graduating from Yale Law School, Vance in Hillbilly Elegy offers passionate analysis of culture and crisis and an unlikely personal journey that informed and transformed him into a senator from Ohio and then President Donald Trump's running mate. So that's what this one is. So this is recent, I think. I can't remember when I picked this one up. It has been on my TBR for a while, but I think I got it when it first came out. So that's that one. All right, on to our next roll. All right, roll 4 of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a small straight. Let's see if we get a large one. Nope, but we can take a small straight, which is great. So that's what we're going to do. And let's see what we get for our choice. And again, did it again. Jeez Louise. Okay. And our Scythe and Sparrow, which is great. That's the last book in the Butcher and Blackbird series. I can't remember, the Ruinous trilogy, I think it is. All right. And the next one is one that I'm really excited about because I'm going to finally finish this series, and that is Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is also on my 2 challenges. So it's on my Goodreads challenge and it is on my series challenge. So I kind of hit both with this one, which I think is really great. And it's the last one in the Ruinous Love trilogy, which was Butcher and Blackbird, and then Leather and Lark, and Scythe and Sparrow's the last one. And this is the final brother. Okay. The steamy finale to the best-selling Ruinous Love trilogy, a friends with benefits, dark romantic comedy packed with murder, mayhem, and spice. So, very much looking forward to it because we've already been introduced to both characters that are in this from the previous 2 books. So I've been waiting a while, and I picked this one up on Book Outlet. The other 2 I just have in regular paperback, but I have the Book Outlet versions in this one, which is nice because I actually really like reading Book Outlet version. I mean, not Book Outlet, Book of the Month. Oh, geez. Okay, I'll be fine. So, yes, I do like reading Book of the Month and Aardvark. Their books are fantastic to read. Great hardbacks. Okay, so on to our next roll, which could be our last roll. Let's see how it goes. And it would appear we only have one more roll, but you know, cross your fingers. What do we got? Well, we've got 3s and 4s, so let's go with the 4s. Oh, I guess we're going to switch to 5s. And we did get 4 of a kind, so we're going to take 4 of a kind on a high roll because that one can be a bit difficult to get sometimes. Kind of high roll. And our last choice is One Dark Window. And yes, this is our last roll for the TBR, and this is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and I've had this on the TBR for a while. I did get this one from Book Outlet, and then they just recently had a sale and was able to pick up 2 Twisted Crowns as well. So I got both really super cheap. Gotta love those Book Outlet sales, and I mean Book Outlet this time, not Book of the Month. I get the 2 confused because they're so close together. Anyways, yes, so this one is Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay alive in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blender. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blender of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blender, and guilty of high treason. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. So that's this one. Heard a lot of good things about the first book, but I believe the second book is more of some people like it and some people don't, but we'll give it a try. And we'll see how I feel about it. Is this like another? No, this one's like 400 pages. Yeah, so a little bit shorter. A couple of the other ones are a little bit shorter too. So, all right. So just a recap on what we pulled from the Yachtsified game. So, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. That was our last pull. Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. Hillbilly Elegy, memoir from J.D. Vance. Penelope Douglas and Corrupt is the name of this. Devil's Night, first book in the Devil's Night series. So I haven't read any of the other ones. And last but not least, Heavenly Bodies by Amani Aru. So that is what we've got for this So now what we need to do is we need to move on to our spinner wheel. And we're going to spin for the choices for the Goodreads choice challenge that I have and for the series challenge. So let's get on with those rolls. All right, so we're going to start by spinning for our series choices first. And we need to spin 3 times, so we're going to give this a go and let's see what we get. Okay, so Love Arranged is our first choice. Okay, so Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. It's the 3rd book in her Lakefront Billionaire series. Now, first book was, kind of okay for me. Second book, absolutely loved the second book. It was like a 5-star read. Just thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, the 2 characters that are the main characters in this book, I actually really like them. And they have developed as the series has gone through. So very much looking forward to it. I think I'm going to like it. Fingers crossed. So the first character is Lorenzo. It says 5 months, 2 people in love. 1 fake relationship with an expiration date. Sounds simple enough. The problem is Lily Muniz and I have history. So when she volunteers to date me so I can improve my public image, I should say no. Our past complicates everything, but since my future depends on her, I agree to her plan. Faking it for the public is expected, but falling in love in private, that isn't part of our arrangement. And then Lily, using a dating app sounds like a great idea. Up until I discovered Lorenzo Vittori was my match. My sister's boyfriend hates him. My mom is wary of him. And me, I've spent the last year avoiding him. But when my business is threatened, I'm forced into teaming up with Lorenzo to save it. All I need to do is help him win the mayoral election, and he promises to protect my shop. It doesn't take me long to learn that I'm not cut out for fake relationships, but Lorenzo, he isn't capable of a real one. So that's this one. Yeah, I think it sounds fantastic. I really like the fact that Lorenzo is like one of these guys in the town that they're in. Nobody likes him, right? So she's fighting an uphill battle to get people to like him enough for him to be elected mayor. At least that's my opinion. So we shall see where that one goes. Okay, so let's go on to our next spin. All right, so we got Kiss Cut by Karen Slaughter. Okay, so we have Kiss Cut by Karen Slaughter. This is the 2nd book in the Grant County mystery series. And these are like sort of standalone murder mystery cases. And I read the first one and absolutely loved the first one. So on to this one. Says a missing girl, a deadly secret. When a teenage quarrel explodes into a deadly shootout, Sarah Linton, pediatrician and medical examiner, finds herself entangled in a horrific tragedy. What seems at first to be a terrible but individual catastrophe proves to have wider implications when the autopsy reveals evidence of long-term abuse and ritualistic self-mutilation. As Sarah and police chief Jeffrey Tolliver start to investigate, a young girl is abducted, and it becomes clear that the first death is linked to an even more brutal crime. And unless Sarah and Jeffrey can uncover the deadly secrets the children hide, it's going to happen again. So in the first one, Jeffrey was her ex-husband in the first book, and they sort of got back together at the end a little bit. I don't know that they've remarried, but they just kind of got back together, reconnected. So we'll see how that one goes. Very much looking forward to it. enjoy Karen Slaughter's writing. And I like the first book, yeah, was really, really good. All right, so let's move on to our last and final spin for this group of books for the series challenge. All right, so our last choice is the second book in the House of Devils series. It's City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. So I read the first book last year. Well, all of the series in the series challenge have to have been read or started in 2025 for me to continue them in the challenge. So I'm very much looking forward to this, even though it is 739 pages. That's like going to kill me to get through. But it actually, like, even the first one was a really, really, really quick read. So I'm expecting this is going to be the same. And I can't really read this, what's on the back, because in the first book, this is a continuation of the series. So it follows main character Lauren and a fellow that she met, Darian, and it's going to follow their story. But this is a very intricate urban fantasy that has all of the paranormal elements that you would find in one book. So there's vampires, there's werewolves, there's witches, there's everything in one book. And I actually really liked that about the first book. It did get a little bit complicated because there was so many of them, but I still loved it and the way it was structured. So very much looking forward to getting on with that one. So that's the series challenge. So now we're going to move on to my Goodreads choice challenge. Okay, so we're ready to spin the wheel for our Goodreads choice challenge. And just a quick explanation, these are books that I chose from the books that were selected in 5 different categories for the Goodreads choice challenge. And I picked 5 books in each of these 5 categories that I had not read. Okay, I will put just a quick snippet so you can see just a general overview of what that is, and I'll keep that sort of over my shoulder so you can see I have read already 6 of those books, so slowly getting through them, and we are going to pick 3 more. So first spin. And our first choice, I'm like so excited, is A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the second book in the Anna and Din mystery series. So yeah, I just wow. I really, really, really loved the first one in the series. And now there is some continuation, obviously, but I believe that each book is a separate contained case that they work on together. But they are working on these cases in a fantastical environment. So it's very fantasy driven. And even the 2 of them, they both have abilities and enhanced ways about how they investigate that are magical in a sense. I believe that it's like a chemical reaction to these things that they ingest that make them special. So in Din's case, it's his ability to taste, okay? And he, through taste, can then associate and remember, he gets an enhanced memory. I hope I'm probably not explaining that very well. But so this one is the eccentric detective Anna Delabra matches wits with a seemingly omniscient adversary in this brilliant fantasy mystery from the author of The Tainted Cup. In the canton of Yarrowdale, at the very edge of the Empire's reach, a treasury officer has disappeared into thin air, vanishing from a room within a heavily guarded tower, its door and windows locked from the inside. To solve the case, the Empire calls on its most brilliant and mercurial detective, the great Anna Delabra. At her side, as always, is her bemused assistant, Dennius Cole. Anna soon discovers that they are investigating not a disappearance, but a murder, and one of surpassing cunning, carried out by an opponent who can pass through warded doors like a ghost. So, yes, very excited. I think I gave The Tainted Cup 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I did. I gave it such a good book. So, very excited for that one. That's going to be such a good TBR. Okay, so now we're going to move on and roll for the next one. Spin, not roll. Spin. Okay, another amazing choice is Coffee Moon by Keith Rawson. And yeah, super excited about this one too. Just because, it's like this is completely different from the other one. So this one is like I think a kind of a horror thriller type idea. It says, from the author of the exciting, suspenseful, and horrifying Fever House, a Vietnam veteran and his adopted niece hunt and are hunted by the vampire that slaughtered their family. So this takes place in 1975 in Portland, Oregon. Okay? I'm not going to say any more than that because I find that synopsis gives way too much away, but I love the sound of it. I just like the idea that it's at the time that it's at. He's a Vietnam veteran, so it's in like our world, but you don't have computers, cell phones, none of that, all right? But what you have is you have a vampire. So, pretty creepy, right? Yeah, it's going to be good. Oh my gosh. Yes. All right, so let's move on to our last and final roll. Final roll. I keep saying roll. It's like spin. Final spin for the Goodreads Choice Challenge. Such great selections, okay? The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong. I have really wanted to read this one too. And this one I think is like a mystery thriller. This is when Samantha Payne's grandfather dies. She figures she won't even get a mention in the will. After all, she hasn't seen him in 14 years, not since her father took his own life after being accused of murdering a child at their lakefront cottage. Her grandfather always insisted her father was innocent, despite Sam having caught him burying the child's body, his clothing streaked with blood. But when she attends the reading of the will at the behest of her aunt, she discovers that her grandfather left her the very valuable lakefront property where the family cottage sits. There's one catch. Sam needs to stay in the cottage for a month to finally face the fact that she was wrong and her father was innocent, according to her grandfather. So, stuff's going to happen when she stays in that cottage, right? Like, of course it is. Like, that's a given. Okay, so that's it for that. And then I do have one final book that I want to add to my TBR. So we're just going to insert this here because I did forget to include one book in the complete count of what I was going to read in April. Now, this is actually not going to get read in just April. It's an April-May buddy read I have with my friend Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. So we're going to buddy read A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. And I've had this on my TBR for quite some time. There's the card for it. And she also has had it on her TBR for quite some time. It's a 400-page romantasy. And I think the original publication date was 2016. So it's been around for quite some time. Some fun artwork on the inside of our two main characters, Cat and Griffin. So I'll just read a little bit on the back. It says, kingdoms will rise and fall for her. Cat Fisa isn't who she pretends to be. She's perfectly content disguised as a soothsayer in a traveling circus, avoiding the destiny of the gods and her dangerous family have saddled her with. As far as she's concerned, the magic humming within her blood can live and die with her. She won't be anyone's pawn. But then she locks eyes with an ambitious warlord with the magic-deprived South, and her illusion of safety is shattered forever. And Griffin knows Cat is the kingmaker, a woman able to divine truth through lies, and he wants her to be a powerful weapon for his newly conquered realm. Kidnapping her off the street is simple enough, but keeping her by his side is infuriatingly tough. Anyways, that's that. So it sounds like it's going to be fun. I just didn't want to rush myself because I do have quite a full TBR for April, and so I'm going to read it over the 2 months, and Amanda and I will discuss it, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, back to the original video. Okay, and I picked this up recently, and I really, really, really want to read it. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to add it to this month's TBR. So hang on, let me just get rid of the computer. I'll push that over here because we are going to review everything that's going to get read this month. So this one is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. He is the creator of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, which sits back here. I have all of them, and I have the new one that's coming out, I think in May, on pre-order. So love that series. This one is completely different, and I believe this one is a standalone, not part of a series. What happens when you become your planet's final boss? All colonist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do was run the family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's aging fleet of intelligent agriculture bots ticking as long as possible. He figures it will be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet New Sonora. But there's a complication. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Industries is hired to commence an eviction action. But maximizing profits will always be Apex's #1 priority. Why spend money printing and deploying AI soldiers when they can turn it into a game? Why not charge bored Earthers for the opportunity to design their own war machines and remotely pilot them from the comfort of their homes? The game is called Operation Bounce House. Oliver and his friends soon find themselves fighting for their lives against machines piloted by gamers who've paid a premium for the privilege. With the help of an old book from his grandfather and a bucket of rusty parts, Oliver is determined to defend the only home he's ever known. So, yes, like super. Yes, so excited to read it. And I just wanted to get it on my TBR. There's this one this month, and then next month in May, well, it's coming at the end, towards the end of April, is The Caretaker by Marcus Cleaver, which is the second book that he's written. He wrote We Used to Live Here. Love that one, so I really want to read that one. So that one's going to go on my May TBR automatically. So I think I'm going to try and do that with every TBR is I'm going to try to put on a book that I really, really, really want to read, and it's just going to be a random selection, probably something new that has come in, so that my new books are also getting read. So this is going to be that one. So just to review, we have Operation Bounce House, see, The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong, Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson. Okay, I'll keep those here. I think I'll pull them back a little bit so you can see them all. A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. Kiss Cut by Karen Slaughter. Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. So that is all of my challenges and my one extra book. Okay, that's that. And then we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru. And Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. So I'll pop those on there. So there is my April TBR. And yeah, we'll just go like that because it doesn't matter because I mix them all up. Now, out of this batch, I'm going to probably do some vlogs. And for sure, I am going to vlog Operation Bounce House. Probably by itself. I don't know. Maybe I'll add it in with something else. Maybe add it in with something that's a little bit of fantastical so that it kind of has a bit of a feel. But we'll see what I pick and see what I do. But typically, you know, I do one vlog a month. So I'll figure it out. If I decide to do Operation Bounce House by itself, I still will vlog something else. Okay? So that's the plan. And wish me luck. We'll see how it goes with this TBR.